Hello and welcome to another video. Today I am back with a charity shop haul. This is my first one in a few weeks. Most of the time I've been getting like one or two books at a time. So I've not really done a video on those. There's no point doing a video on one or two things. But I've got quite a lot today. I actually have two from yesterday and the rest are from today. So we'll start with the two from yesterday. I have Stoker's Manuscript by Royce Prouty. This appears to be about trying to authenticate an original draft of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and he goes to Transylvania and some weird shit happens and he becomes like prisoner of Dracula, something like that. And I thought it looked kind of interesting. Kind of a shit cover, honestly. I'm not that into that cover, but if the story's decent, then that doesn't really matter. So yeah, I got that, and the last one that I got yesterday is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I'd never heard of this author before, but from the synopsis, it certainly looks decent. Folk horror story about witchcraft with a kind of like modern twist. The twist is my camera won't focus. That's not really a twist, that happens all the time. But yeah, that sounded really interesting, so pick that up. Okay, so on to the stuff that I got today. Most of this is more vintage stuff. Then obviously those last two are kind of like fairly modern, but most of these are kind of like slightly older. We have The Possessors by John Christopher. Now you have to actually look inside for the synopsis of this one. For some reason there is a rusted sewing needle inserted into the front cover of this book. You can kind of see it on the front as well. I thought that was quite odd. Well, I mean, it is odd. I don't know why it is. In fact, I'm going to take it out now before I actually forget that it's there and poke myself with it. So yeah, rusty needle. No idea why. But yeah, there is your synopsis. It says it's a science fiction novel, but it does sound more like a horror to me. I mean, there are stories that kind of like transcend the genre boundaries, so sci-fi horror kind of thing. Wouldn't be the first time. This kind of sounds a little bit like The Thing from that synopsis. So yeah, that sounds like it might be interesting. No idea why I didn't put a synopsis on the back. That's weird, but never mind. Now we have the Picador Book of the New Gothic. This is a short story anthology of Gothic horror stories. And as usual with anthologies, I will show you the contents page. We do have like some quite decent names in here. You've got Anne Rice, Peter Straub, Ruth Rendell. You know, quite a few well-known names there. Joyce Carol Oates. I think it's just that one page. It is, yes. So yeah, I do like Gothic fiction. So yeah, that was quite a nice find, and I've never seen this anthology before anywhere, so yeah, real nice to find that. The last two paperbacks I've got are non-fiction. So I've got Ghosts of an Ancient City. Really like the cover on that. That's stark but like simple, but like quite nice. I enjoy that. So this is basically one of those books that goes through kind of like a lot of different like legends and stuff like that. And you can kind of see what's in there, and it's just got a load of little short ghost stories with illustrations. I've got quite a few of these, but this one looked interesting. Like I said, the cover intrigued me more than anything. It's quite a thin book, but yeah, that was quite nice. This one's not thin. This one is super heavy. This is the Element Encyclopedia of Vampires, an A to Z of the Undead. This book is huge. It's written by Teresa Chung, if I pronounce that right. And yeah, this book is rather massive, as you can see, and it is kind of like I said, like an encyclopedia of different vampire stuff. There are some illustrations in this as well. It's kind of difficult to hold it open because it is really large and heavy. But yeah, that looked really interesting, and it was only $2.99 as well for a book that size. Really decent. Really happy with that. So I also have two hardbacks here. That is Dead Knobs and Doomsticks by Joe Pasquale. Now, if you're from the UK, you'll know who Joe Pasquale is. He is a stand-up comedian, quite well known for having a really high-pitched voice. Well, he puts on a high-pitched voice for his comedy stuff. But I had no idea that he was actually an author as well, and apparently he's done quite a lot of horror stuff that my camera won't focus on. But yeah, this is a really nice looking book, and it is illustrated. It has illustrations by Joe Pasquale in them as well. And a whole bunch of stories which I believe they kind of like blend horror and comedy as well, which is quite an interesting thing. I don't have too much like comic stuff in my horror collection, so yeah, quite interesting. And like I said, I had no idea that Joe Pasquale actually did horror stuff, so yeah, that was really interesting. The start of the show, and also the most expensive thing I bought. I don't usually spend this amount of money, but we have a hardback copy of The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. Like quite an early hardback version of that. That was $7.99. I don't usually pay that much, but when I kind of like see Stephen King hardback books in the wild, I will always try and upgrade if I only have the paperback. I've actually pulled the paperback off my shelves. I have it here. So this is what I had. Really beat up old paperback. So that is now going to be gotten rid of, going in my charity shop pile and being replaced by this really nice hardcover. There's your synopsis on the inside flap. This appears to be an American copy. You don't tend to find much American Stephen King books over here, but yeah, never seen that photo before. It's pretty cool. It's not a first edition or anything, but like I say, it is like a really nice find and a really nice upgrade from my paperback. Let's have a look. there's your thingy page. So it had a limited edition run beforehand. I'll get a new camera one day. I really will, because nothing ever wants to focus on this. Wasn't a particularly cheap camera as well. But yeah, so not a first edition, but it is very nice, and very nice upgrade. And as much as I kind of resent paying £8 for something for a book from charity shop, you know, this is like one of the few things I will actually pay money for. Really nice upgrade from my paperback there. So I'm getting close to having all of the Stephen King books in hardback. There's a few that are still holding out on me, but that is one more off the list. So that is actually everything that I got today and yesterday. Like I said, generally I've not been getting much the past few weeks. What I'm going to start doing, what I have started doing, is if I do only get 1 or 2 things, then I'll put pictures in my community tab of the stuff that I've got, rather than kind of like making a whole video. So if you pop over to my community tab, there's only like 1 post up there at the minute, just showing what I got last week, which is only kind of like 1 thing. So any small hauls I'll just put on there, just put a couple pictures, and the big hauls will be in the videos like the one you've just watched. So that'll be it for this week. We may have another one next week. We will see what we get next week. But that's it for now. So if you enjoyed this video, please click like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.